Kia ora, our guest today is a powerful presence under the netty post who can sink a shot from anywhere and is a true leader both on and off the court. From bursting onto the scene as a teenage sensation to becoming a silver fern and a captain in the ANZ Premiership. There's more to her than just goals and game plans. She's unapologetically herself a proud wahine Māori. And mihi ana kia koe, welcome to the Sharpen Up podcast, Maia Wilson.
Kia ora. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to take that.
I reckon that's how I would describe you, though, when I watch you. You are powerful.
Yeah, sweet. Mean. I haven't, not many people call me powerful, so I'm going to take it on my shoulders.
No, well, I mean, we've been teammates before, but also played against you. I wouldn't want to take you on under the netty post, Jordan.
So I'm a basketball head to the core, and I grew up not liking netball 100%. Very rude and potentially sexist of me. However, I have a daughter now, and I brought her to, I think this is at the Mount or Tauranga. I came to support the Stars because I like all Auckland teams except, I don't really like anyone. Anyway, I was living in the Bay plenty of the time. I came to watch you, and you alone changed my whole perspective on the sport of netball. And it was the physicality, it was the quickness, the vision as well, like the anticipation of play. Like, you guys have your thing, right? Mid-court or whatever you call them, like your guards. What are they?
Defender.
Wing attacks?
Mid-court.
So your guards, I'm in my basketball mind. And then you're just like, do your little signal.
That's
and the next minute,
exactly what Maia does.
It's a legit pukana, right? Yeah. It actually is.
And then the ball's in your hand, and then nothing but net.
It's a basketball background. Like, so if you're a basketball fan, I grew up playing basketball. I played basketball nationally. So, like, a pick and roll is my thing. Like, a screen is my thing. If you were asked a netball fan how they would describe me, they'd say a screen.
So,
absolutely.
Like, playing in the post, right?
Playing in the post was, like, my jam. And the bit, like... I think take me back to my basketball brain, and my favourite thing to do was like you just get a blind screen on a guard and they just smack and they hit on the ground. Like that real deep satisfaction you get when you can smack someone on the ground.
Powerful.
Powerful. There's nothing more satisfying to me than like getting up close and physical and setting a bloody good screen. So like that probably is. I feel with same.
This makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah, now you know. So then, Maia, with that being said, why did you choose netball over basketball? Because you were a successful basketballer. You got offered a scholarship over in the States.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
She could do it all, this girl. So why did you choose our beloved game of netball?
Yeah, interesting enough, I had this whole dream of becoming a dual international, and I became a tall femme when I was 16.
Yeah.
So I was like, how...
Just saying.
What longevity do I think I have in the game of basketball? Do I think I can become a silver fern? And at that time, Coco was among the silver ferns environment at that point, and Waimarama Tomonu was a coach, and I remember she was bloody smart. She brought me in as a training partner in trials when I was 16, so that gave me the idea that there was a legitimate opportunity when I got older to become a silver fern. So did I think I got a couple of D1 scholarships? Did I think I was going to become a WNBA player? No, because I played a whole 5-6 years of doing both netball and basketball, where you're competing against women in the States that have been playing it their whole life. But could I stay home and play professionally and play netball and get paid? So I weighed it up, and I thought my strongest avenue was to stay here, stay at home and make it. And in the end, I haven't regretted it, but I miss it. If I could go play in the Tauihi, the basketball league, I would so be keen. But unfortunately, the scheduling never aligned. So unfortunately, for me, it's just netball at the moment.
Some of our netballers do, though. Is it because you're in the Silver Ferns that with the scheduling that you can't jump across to the basketball?
Yeah, pretty much. You have a lot of people who are outside of the Silver Ferns and Silver Ferns development squad. I think we've had people who are Silver Ferns now. Paris Mason played for the Tokomano Queens based in Wellington. So did Paris Lokatui, Aaliyah Dunn. So you do have many names that are playing in the ANZ Premiership that can. Unfortunately enough, I've been preoccupied with Silver Ferns for the last 10 years. So that's meant that I haven't been able to do that. But I'm so excited that, people do get that opportunity now because netball wasn't always friendly to letting some of our girls live their other dreams.
No, I agree. And speaking of living dreams, I interviewed you when you were a young high schooler at Mags, and then, we've spoken briefly about the career you've had. I want to know the most important lesson you've learnt up to date, going from being that young high schooler all the way to the athlete that you are now.
Yeah, I learnt some pretty hard truths once it wasn't until I became professional I really got put in my place. I was quite fortunate. My high school team were very successful. I had played women's NPC sort of league since I was 16, and I got picked up on a ANZ championship contract with the Central Pulse in 2016, my first year out of school. I hadn't sat on a bench until I became a professional, which is like, bro, I think...
And how old are you at this time? 18?
I was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight out of school, 18, moved to Wellington, and had to learn the actual hard truth of you're not going to get anywhere if you don't work hard, and being able to, there's a time and place. So I thought probably at the time I knew so much, and I so did, and I got humbled hard, but privileged enough that I got to play alongside people that I absolutely idolized. I was watching them on TV since I was 10, and I'm training right next to them and getting scared. So I think the hard work behind the scenes never goes unnoticed. I think what happens in the dark comes to light in the light. What a fresh way to say it, but
So now, as you are captain of the Stars and a senior player, even though you are still young, what's it like for you when you see these younger players who are fresh out of school, they're just making their pro debuts and they are sitting on the bench as such, and what advice do you have for them?
I think for me it's real. I'm really proud because now I'm in that reverse position. There's one of the young training partners on my team, her name's Kanye Lee.
Yes.
And there's a photo of our very first game at Vodafone Event Centre
2017
so
when
Drew
we played.
Drew dropped. And she was 11 or 12, and she's totally kitted out in purple. And it was probably my first experience of realising that's how I idolise people, was sort of, I don't think I'm anyone different from old Auntie Mede next door. It's the learning curve of helping to produce the next generation of our leaders, our rangatahi, and that's what I see in her in particular. So it's about being graceful in teaching, but also demanding at the same time, because you want to open them up to a world of professional netball where it is inviting and it's a whole new learning curve, but understanding there is that learning curve, balancing that with the demands of the job and teaching them how to do their job because they're there for a reason.
Who were your childhood heroes when you think back? Kat
Tuivaiti. Kat Latu was who I saw in myself. I've always been tall, so I'm 6'2". I was a solid, big Buddha. That was me. I'm not saying Kat was ever like that, but all I really saw in the netball landscape wasn't someone who looked like me apart from her. So, you talk about powerful, you talked about that, the flair and the vision.
Yes.
That's who I saw myself in. And I'm a massive believer of what you can see is what you can be.
Agree.
So she was probably the one that gave me the pathway. Her and now coaches like Donna Wilkins, Donna Lofhagen, dual internationals, those are the sort of people that I looked up to.
What's it like now when you know that Donna Wilkins is coaching the
She's
tactics?
cracker. She's actually
and you're
hilarious.
going to be going up against one of your childhood heroes, and maybe breaking her heart.
I actually like that because she was a Silver Ferns shooting specialist coach a couple of years ago, so it was really cool to get to know her on a personal level and have that banter and have that cheekiness. The other day we were at an ANZ Premiership launch and I had star stickers. This is the tactics coach, and I was so proud of myself. I put them at the bottom of her hoodie. I was like, how many can I get on Donna? And actually now thinking about it, that was someone I idolised growing up. So I think I got a win just by putting some damn stickers on her hoodie.
I agree. The ANZ Premiership, it does start this weekend. What can we expect from the Stars this season?
really exciting for us. We've had a few Aussie flavour. We've got 2 Aussies coming in. We also have the reinvestment of our system. So Tim Parabailey is back as head coach. Liana De Bruin is assistant coach. So that is Stars players number 1 and maybe number 21.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that. So to see these players who are idols in their own right, but reinvesting in our people to now become head coaches. I think that's something that I'm really proud about. We're a young franchise. This is our 9th season, so we're only 9 years old, but to be able to reinvest in our people is really important. How do we support them in those pathways? So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's nice to see Bubby or Timapara and Liana back together. Now, there are some rule changes this year. There's a 2-point shot.
Do you know what the rule changes are, brother?
Tell me about it.
Go on, Maia.
So, yeah, Coco said 2-point shot. So more last 5 minutes, there's the last metre and a half of the circle goes into a 2 points. So if you get that in, it's 2 points.
Okay.
Changes the whole game.
We
played some pre-season matches a couple of weeks ago against Magic and we were up by 9 and we ended the game drawn.
Just because of that rule.
Just because of that
sinking.
that sinking of the 2-point shot. Emiliani Kanasi, the Silver Ferns captain, Magic captain, absolutely creamed it. So we were just ticking things over, up by. So from a fan's perspective, it's really exciting.
I love it.
Like the physicality you like.
Yeah.
Well, now starting to learn about the game, but I think you'll froth the 2-point shot. It changes it.
And don't you always think, I think about long-range, beautiful netball shooters, and we think of Maria Tutai, Maria Folau now. And I always thought those shots that she was sinking were worth more than 1 point.
True.
Don't you think? And so now I'm glad we can reward our shooters for that skill, and I'm really looking forward to it. How are we feeling, Mike? Because I think you can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I like to call myself a student of the game. So I actually love what this new rule change has done for me is challenge my perception of the strategy of the game. So I like to think that I got some game smarts and I try and stick it to them. So as we're at training and they're trying to do a defensive setup of the 2-point shot, I'm like, I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it. So I think there's that side of the game that I'm excited about. But the beauty of actually sinking those ones in is another point to it. So we should see. I think umpires are mic'd up during games, so you can hear them in the stadiums. You've got a coach's box. All the coaches are scared, though. They don't want to get into it.
Jordan, I feel like it's like basketball. There's a coach's box where the coaches can go out and stand out there. Well, not on the court, but close to the side of the court and close to the umpire, which could get pretty interesting. Just like in basketball. I reckon you'd do that, right?
The coach's box thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We've never had it in netball, though, so it's a brand new, I guess,
and you can,
innovation.
Communication-wise, right? You can talk to your players.
Yeah.
This is going to be mean.
I know.
I think netball's daunting. To basketball, I remember having coaches slam me.
It's a very vocal sport,
very vocal,
right?
Slamming their whiteboard with everything on the court, and I had a coach who would squat on the sideline and get every angle. So I think it's quite exciting, but
they seem reluctant, I feel like, our coaches to maybe want to use it.
Actually I was talking to Donna yesterday and she said to me she's got a bet with someone. I think Kate Agnew, her GM at Tactics, and her bet is that she's not going to go into that coaching box. So I sort of want Donna to not prove her wrong, because I want to see that full fist and the powerfulness of a coach.
That's quite intimidating, though. Seeing a legend, right, who's the coach right there.
Yes.
That's another factor you could consider too, intimidation was. Because I wanted to know, if the last 5 minutes of a game can actually change a game,
hard.
What does that do for you now in terms of strategy before that last 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's something we've been in a 10-week pre-season. It's something that we've had to discuss this whole 10 weeks, and I don't even believe that everyone's fully encompassed what that actually looks like. I think it's a whole strategy game. You can't think you're going to win by just marking one person and then the other one just keeps continuing to shoot twos, or you don't think you're going to do the Hail Marys and save every game.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, the challenge of opening up your mind and opening up that 5-meter circle. How do you use the whole width of it? How do you use the depth of it? How do you challenge the defenders' minds of where they think you want to catch it?
Yeah.
I think some of the strategies that you'll see as the competition goes on is most shooters are only wanting to get from 45 to 45.
Yes.
So it's like the closest angle to the post. But there's a whole other angle from the baseline. Because in some people's minds, the baselines are the hardest shots to take because they're a bit more flatter, the angle. But I think there's why not use and abuse in a way? Like you've got 5 meters to be able to use the space.
And also it's like when you watch over in Australia, do you just, if you are up, just keep slotting those easy 1-pointers if you do have a holding shooter at the post, just to kind of make the defence move again and then open up the 2-point range. So I'm interested to see how it's going to go and the strategies used. Now that you've been in the league for quite a long time, Maia, I'd love to know the way you've seen culture, and in particularly our Māori culture, change throughout your journey.
It's sort of been a bit like chalk and cheese now, to be fair. When I started, there wasn't, well, at least in the teams that I was in, there wasn't really anything.
Nothing when I played.
I think the induction of what used to be called a heritage round, I really struggled with that concept because to me, heritage is whakapapa and whakapapa is all te ao Māori, so like how are you connected to local hapu, iwi, like rohe, community, hapori, and whereas other people took that interpretation of the heritage of the club.
Yes.
So I don't know if it was how I was raised, but it was like, very different. And I guess in my club at the Stars, that was sort of the birth of what we decided to do is developing our own haka.
Yes.
And
your mum
myself, my mum, Amorangi Malesala, the three of us really came together to we brainstormed with the rest of the team in English of what they thought we represented or what we wanted to represent, and then the three of us sort of came together to translate that into a ao Māori perspective. And for me, that's a massive part of our legacy as a club and something that I've wanted to keep going because, you don't want to be token. You don't want to, these things are taonga that are used that need to be taken care of. So you can't just do it 1 year and chuck it in the rubbish the next year. It's about how do we continue to walk the walk and talk the talk. That's part of that for me. But also it's challenged, in my opinion, it's challenged the organisation of the clubs to how do we do things culturally safe, culturally appropriate. You can't just ask matua to come in for a dress blessing and that's it. In my eyes, it's a reciprocal exchange of taonga both ways. Yeah.
And what is it like for you? I don't want to say having this all on your shoulders. But because you are the person that they go to at the ANZ Premiership launch, you are the one being asked to do the karakia, right? Yeah. So what is it like for you as a player, as a captain, but then also having to have this as well?
In my eyes, it's sort of like an assumption, or there's an assumption that maybe because I've taken things on in the past that I'll just do it. And to me, there is, I think, for us to step forward in ANZ Premiership space, I'm not quite sure Netball New Zealand because I'm not a part of those conversations, but ANZ Premiership level, we need to be able to have that cultural security and, like I said, that reciprocal relationship between mana whenua ahika and the teams. I guess with my team, I whakapapa to South Auckland. That is my whenua, and that's one of the reasons why I feel so proud to be a part of this team is because I'm literally representing my nieces and nephews on the papakainga 5 minutes down the road. So I think we need more avenues, or that's where we can broaden our resources in some ways, because resources to me doesn't have to mean pūtea. It actually just means like kanohi ki te kanohi, and it's all about manaakitanga, whanaungatanga, and I feel like if we can broaden that, that would be a lot better. But it does add a lot to my load. I'm not only a captain, but sometimes I'm the cultural advisor. Yes. I'm the kai karakia, I'm the kai waiata, but then I'm also looked on to find the networks to then help because it's outside of my area, and it means that, I do more of a workload than probably the rest of my other team, just in that one cultural competency.
Yeah. And what is the support like for the Stars from the community out in South Auckland? Because I know we're all, we love the fact that we do have a strong wahine sports team out there for our tamariki and our rangatahi out there.
Yeah, I have loved, we've worked alongside Papakura Marae in different aspects. My mum actually worked at Papakura Marae, so that was one of the reasons why we went out there. But I think I'm very proud when I get to go to kura and
you guys do a lot of community work.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's really important for those of our team that don't come from South Auckland. They come from Australia or they come from Wellington. There's something special about South and East Auckland, because that's our region, but in particular I talk about the likes of Papakura or Takanini, because that's where our home base is. Some of these kids come from lower socioeconomic homes. They have holey socks, they don't have any shoes, like they struggle. And by just meeting us and being able to hang out with us, they get to see there's more to life than their current reality. And that's the massive part of our job, is that I think we're ambassadors and we're role models first. The vehicle is netball, but it's actually, we have the power to change someone's life.
And you spoke about how representation, and if you can see it, you can be it. And I just want you to touch on the Stars dress for this season, because it is a beautiful dress designed and it incorporates the cultures that the Stars represent.
Yeah, so this year, I actually wasn't a part of the dress design this year. That was Mila and Kate got together with Anthony Wilson, I think that's his name. He is a kaumātua kaiarehi of one of our awataha, which I think is a urban marae based on the shore, who helped with this dress design. And from my knowledge of what the whakamārama of the dress is it talks about the connection of Te Manukunuku Hoturua, or the Manuka Harbour, and Hoturua coming in to that harbour in the navigation of when Waka came into the Manuka Harbour, and the epitome of what that hub of Manukau was. So yeah, to me, it is really beautiful to have a dress that is different to what we have before. So it's about making sure, like I said, their taonga, and making sure that we take care of it.
Jordan, you must be loving netball even more now.
Yeah, I'm sold.
No, he's just looking at me like, yep.
I'm just got to decide whether I'm a Stars fan or not. You know,
What do you mean?
like I'm sitting here and taking in everything. It's from talking about the heritage round and what that actually means to you in regard. And so for me, I automatically went, she's talking about who she is as a person and her people.
Yeah.
Versus
yes.
a club or a franchise or a business as such. And it's not just some tokenistic kind of thing that we do just cause. It has huge, deeper meaning. And then you went on to articulate, like, really beautifully what it actually means to you and why it's so important. So I'm thinking about my time, because I used to live in Kaweru, which is a very small community in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. Not much going on, other than me playing around the world at the park. But I'm thinking about my daughter, and I'm thinking about, imagine if, say, the Waikato Bay Plenty team had someone like yourself coming to our town.
Yeah.
And the inspiration and motivation that a lot of our young wahine rangatahi that we have in our hapori is just going to be blown away. You know, because I understand South Auckland is your heart.
Yeah,
That's where you're from, and I'm real passionate about where I'm from and where my children are from too. So big mihi too. Like, I just want to give you your flowers. Like, that's incredible to hear what you've been doing and still doing and continue to do. And like, I'm here for it. Even as a supporter, I need to start watching netball and start getting behind this kaupapa, because this is beautiful. It's amazing.
Well, you can start watching this weekend. Yes. Jordan, on that when the ANZ Premiership starts. Maia, you've actually played 137 matches in the ANZ Premiership.
Yeah, I thought so.
We spoke about it on episodes prior to this, but whether it's the ANZ or whatever competition you've played in, what's your best ever win and why?
Best ever win.
Jordan, do you remember what yours was?
I think mine was just beating my dad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, satisfaction right there, eh? I can remember it. Context, people always think that Stars are like wooden spooners, and that we're there definitely is an underdog take. And I remember, I think it was one of the first times we went into the elimination final and we bet the Steel in I don't know if it was extra time, but I remember beating the Steel. It was the first time we had ever gone to a final and we felt we had won the whole competition in this elim final. I think it's it's the pride. I guess, like you said, for me, it's the pride in representing my people. Goes way beyond the actual game. And you could probably ask someone else on my team and it would mean completely different. So I think I've always had this dream. I'd love to win the grand final, like anyone, but actually lifting that trophy for the first time for my team, for my people is a big thing. So 2025 is our year, boy.
Yeah.
We're coming.
When is the moment in your career when you realise, you'd made it?
My very first game in 2016, I was playing for the Poles.
Yes.
We were playing the Magic, and I was supposed to be a benchy that whole year, and our goal attack did her ACL. So I thought, I'm here, I'm happy, I'm getting paid, I can sit on a bench, and realising that my debut was going to be a full game, and I'd never played before. So I think being able to get through that game and remembering that I didn't muck it up was the first sense of like, actually, I'm here and I deserve to be here. I've got a lot of learning to do, but I'm right where I should be. Yeah.
Beautiful.
The best coach, leader or captain that you've ever had, and why? And who you've taken stuff from to become the leader that you are today?
The person that I look up to as a current leader is Meals, Amelia Kanasu.
Yeah.
I love her. She's for service, for and with people, and it's about person first, netball second, player second. I love how she embodies everything about being a silver fern, about being a Magic player. She is the epitome of what you would call a world-class player in my eyes in Aotearoa. From who do I take a lot of myself from would probably be someone like Floyd, like Liana. I look at myself and I'm someone who loves structure, and
She loves
structure. So sometimes I have to kick myself and be like, oh my gosh, a lot of her is rubbed off of me, probably because she was a captain of mine for 2 or 3 years at a very young formative age. So it's quite cool how if there's things that I'm not struggling with, but I'm getting a bit hoha with, I'll go to her and be like, am I on the right wavelength? So it's nice that I can bounce ideas off her.
Jordan, what kind of a leader would you be?
Me?
Yeah.
Cheerleader. No, I don't know. If you're talking in my peak, Maia, high school. I was definitely a lead by example, James Fisher Harris type. In my older years, I'm definitely sideline encouragement, positive feedback. I always give people shit sandwiches. Shit sandwiches. Yeah. I'm that kind of person now. Yeah.
Maia, throughout your career and a lot of interviews that you've done, you've opened up, you've been vulnerable, and you've had some tough times in your age. What did you rely on to get through those tough times? Because I know whānau means so much to you.
Sometimes my whānau are the cause of my tough times, if I'm being honest.
About it.
We've all been there, whānau, eh? I guess for me, I'm actually really proud of how I've been raised, because I'm a tough nut, but I love hard. I either love you or I really don't like you. Lucky I must like you fellas, because I'm here.
Thank
you. But I think my compass is tika and pono for me. What is the right thing to do? I might not want to do it, but deep down what I've been raised to do. So a lot of that's around manaaki. Other parts of it is killing people with kindness sometimes, because we all need that little bit of the hard truth, and vice versa. But how I see myself is, I'm definitely the po in my family. Somehow everything attracts me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm currently going through some of the good, the bad, and the ugly now, but it's staying true to what do I believe is tika and pono. Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, that is beautiful. Just switching gears, the toughest defender you've ever played? Or someone you love coming up against?
Someone, I don't say I would love it, but her facials just sometimes I struggle with.
Can you give us some examples?
Wait, can we have a guessing? Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
Is she Australian?
Yeah.
Courtney?
Yeah.
Bruce, not me. Courtney Bruce. Yes, I think everyone feels that way, don't they?
It's the face. I'm sorry. Here. I'm yeah, it was you, bro. It was you. You tried to clothesline my mate. Don't act innocent. So, don't get me wrong. She is strong, she is formidable, and she is exactly where she should be.
Yeah.
But, man, don't act like you didn't do it. You so did. And I'll tell you too. Bruh.
Have you had conversations like that with opposition players on court?
No, I'm not a chatty person
Yeah.
because actually when they start getting chatty, I just smile and I laugh at them because I've annoyed them enough to be able to do that. Edina and Makaire and I used to have the mean runbucks back in the days. She even won't be mad at me. We're actually really good mates now.
Yeah.
But we would nearly clothesline each other. It got for a netball, it got rough. And so what I learned a couple of years ago is I just had to talk to her at the start of the game and during the game, and she's sweet. So
Nice
I'm glad.
talk.
Yeah, nice talk.
Yeah.
So and now she will talk to me as the ball's down the other end. So it's nice to see the flip side of it. But yeah, it was. You can tell how bad the game's gone for me, depending on what my hairstyle's like. So I wear a bun. No, I wear a tight
I know exactly what you mean.
I wear a tight ass bun. That's like maunga taranaki. It can't move, and then you get someone who's starting to whack my head and clothesline me. That's how you know it's been a rough game.
And is your answer of reply to them just through nailing your shots, or is it, a bit of...
It's a good ass screen.
Yep.
It's it is a good shove and it's a big smile. Yeah, shot
Yeah.
but smile in their face. Get
Yes.
up in there. They hate it. They so hate it.
See, Jordan, when you watch this season, you're going to be tuning in. You're going to be watching Maia off the ball. You're going to be seeing how that bun is sitting.
Yeah, it's a psychological game.
It's going to watch
Whoever
your bun.
wins
Where's
it,
the bun at?
Yeah, exactly.
Your favourite netballer of all time and why?
Favorite netball of all time.
Do you go back to Kat or would it be someone else?
If I'm completely honest, I wasn't a massive watcher, spectator of netball when I was younger. I didn't really start watching it until I thought I could make it. I would say... Who I love watching now, I love watching Mills. I love watching Amelia Ann. I think her work ethic is second to none. Her personality is second to none. And she has the most beautiful shot.
Stunning.
You got to give, world class. Absolutely world class. I'd say one of the, if not the best goal attacker currently in the world.
No, I agree. Jordan, did you ever have a favourite netballer growing up?
Oh, yeah, shout outs to my little sister. She had to go watch her games every Saturday.
Nice.
Were you watching your sister or did you go watch someone else?
I wasn't. Yeah, she was my favourite netballer, just watching her being forced by my dad to go and support her. She was all right.
No, at least you went to go support
Exactly.
her. My brother would come, but not for me. He'd just go have a little...
Oh, yeah.
Little doo-doo
He
eyes.
was, yeah.
Yeah, not for me.
Jordan, do you have your this or
Yeah, I do.
that
I do have.
for this week? I've been
that.
asking our guests when they come on, they're this or that, and Jordan, he's
I'm
the
expecting
king of
big
it.
things.
Yeah, so it's just a bit of a 10. No, this or that. I'm going to give you two things. You just choose between the two.
Yeah.
Real easy. We'll start off nice and light. Morning person or night person?
Morning.
Yeah? How
Yeah.
early?
6:30.
Oh, yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Coffee or matcha?
Ooh, coffee. Ooh, that green stuff? Nah.
Yeah.
You drink that?
No.
Can't point. Okay, passenger princess or driver?
Passenger princess. 100%. Yeah.
Okay, as you're a passenger princess, are you podcast or playlist?
Playlist.
Playlist?
Yeah.
What's on your playlist?
Real quick switch. I love a bit of Luke Combs at the moment.
Oh.
I wouldn't even say I was a country. I wasn't even a country person before, but generic, growing up, Adija, Eddies, Radna,
Nice.
that sort of stuff.
Cool. All right. Jandals or slides?
Slides,
Shout outs to the slides.
Yeah.
Mince and cheese or steak and cheese pie?
steak and cheese.
This will be interesting. Is someone from South Auckland, SA, is it called a mangere or a manu?
Manu.
Oh
Yeah.
my days. Okay. League or union?
League.
Kaupai.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kaupai.
easy.
All right. Auckland FC or Auckland Blues?
Blues. I'll give it to Blues.
Kaupai. That's your this and that.
Nicely. Well, while we're on finishing up on some rugby talk, we'll move in to congratulate our Blackfern Sevens, who
Oi.
just won the
How
World
cool.
Championships
Covers.
in LA, like beating Australia as well, 31-7. Georgia Miller, she is the Women's Sevens Player of the Year. I mean, it's just incredible the things that they are doing, and we've said that they have to be the best sporting team in New Zealand.
Consistently,
Yeah, consistently. As an athlete, from the outside looking in, what is it that makes them so sick, or why are they having so much success as a team?
First and foremost, look at their pathways. So I look at their current team now, the ability to blood the next generation is amazing. You've had however many girls that have gone across for the Black Ferns, and 15s aside are in the Pac 4. I just think the ability to invest in their system obviously is working, that they're winning in LA. Us at the Silver Ferns, we're lucky enough to take one of their S&C trainers from the Sevens, and from what I've had, the conversations I've had with her, everyone all in the service and the roles for each other, but the actual sisterhood, like the genuine sisterhood that they have, I think you can see it, and just the beauty of the development of their game and their pathway, I just really think needs to be celebrated.
No, I agree. And they always, as you said, that's that sisterhood. They look like they're having fun, they're enjoying it. And as you said earlier, happy players off the court or off the field, happy players on the field. What is it like when you do have to create a culture within a team and get that sisterhood? You said you're doing 10 weeks in pre-season. And what's that like? Is it about doing those hard sessions together, knowing that you've all gone through that grind together? How is it trying to make that team culture, especially when you've got to do it year in, year out with different players coming in? Because with the Blackfern Sevens, a lot of them have been there for a while.
I think there's different aspects of it. The hard grind together is a really big one. You also have to, people need to be celebrated or accepted for their unapologetically, their authentic self, because they're not going to bring their best if they don't feel comfortable to be their best. But I also personally think there's a buy-in. So you buy into the vision, you buy into the culture, you buy into the values. That's a really important part of making sure that you have a well-working team unit, because those are your foundation, and that's where you have to keep the accountability. So if you have those at the forefront and then celebrate the person and how they show that or display that, you're on the right track.
Do you ever have to have those tough conversations as a captain sometimes, just individually? And you don't have to say who or what, but what is that like when maybe you don't have that full buy-in, or like if you are the captain, it's on your shoulders to have to step in and maybe pull a player aside?
Yeah, and you have to think that everyone comes with their own personalities, and sometimes personalities do clash, especially in female sport and women's teams. There's just something about us women that we like a bit of argy-bargy, but aren't always the best at confronting that and putting that to the forefront. So I guess it's about what's the common goal between us? What I talked about, those visions, the purpose, what are those values that connect us, and how do we go about that? Sometimes there's many ways to Rome. There's so many different ways to do the same outcome. Not one is the best. Sometimes you've got to check your own self too about your own bias and thinking that you're the captain and you know everything when you don't. But the performance conversations, we would call them, is one-on-one, face-to-face. Sometimes it's not about, the worst thing you can do is Chinese whisper to the rest of your teammates, because it gets back to the source. But what's the common goal, and knowing that you rely on each other. I can't do something without the rest of my team, so I need both of us to thrive at the same time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as we said, going through those hard pre-seasons together, you know that's where you realise you do have each other's backs, and they are willing to go to that next level for the team, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in those states of where you're at your max, you're often very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so to have the support or the buy-in from everyone else around you really makes you feel like you can be yourself, you can be at home, and you're exactly where you should be.
When we look at the Blackfern Sevens and Georgia Miller being the Women's Sevens Player of the Year, and she is only...
She's like 20, 21.
21. I think she just
young.
Maybe had her 21st birthday. Like, she's young as... For you obviously came up on the scene very young as well. Did you feel that pressure of getting success at such a young age?
I not at the world class level. I was very aware and actually probably felt quite fortunate that there were a few people ahead of me, and it was about buying my time, growing, learning, absorbing off all these absolute legends. And then whenever I got that opportunity to contribute, and I think that's where I'm at now, is I think I'm quite wise. I think I'm quite mature. So being able to embody that, no matter whether I'm on the court or off the court, my career's been a bit of an up and down. I've been starting, I've been not starting, I've been not selected, I've been in the team, but I know what I can do is I can service others. So no matter whether I'm on the court or not, I win, because we win. Like one person wins, we win. So it's being able to be selfless in a very high performance, high pressure environment. Not everyone's like that.
They are not.
Yeah.
We're glad you are, though, Maia. You mentioned that you love the NRL.
Yes.
It was Magic Round on the weekend. Who's your team and why?
Support the Waz through and through, but have a few fave teams. The Raiders is a whānau team. My father-in-law used to play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And we're also, at the moment, like I love how the Bulldogs are playing at the moment, and I think they're absolutely on fire. So those would probably be my top three. Well, Sam, first, second and third. I'm not a bandwagon, I promise.
Jordan, your thoughts on Magic Round? Because I love the thought of all the teams being at Suncorp and everyone being there. It looked like a great experience for the fans. Some of the games on Saturday probably weren't that great.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would have loved to have been there if work permitted, right?
Yeah, so I have this thing where I feel like, I mean, we talk about Auckland Nines being such a really cool
That was a cool
event,
time.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, when is Magic Round actually going to come across the ditch to us? Because not only does it bring a lot of tourism from our whānau and Ahitereiria, but we get to have that. I mean, like, Warriors fans, we stuck it out. The team actually did all the hard mahi during that COVID time, and I'm still kind of waiting for this payback. So I'm just putting it out there to the NRL that Magic Round Aotearoa might be something to look at. I don't know, just putting it out there.
Oh, we'd love to have it. What stadium are you having it at? In
Oh,
what city?
we have it in Kawaru. No,
Well,
I mean,
maybe.
it'd have to be like it'd have to be Tamaki, stadium wise. But I mean, I don't know what they would do.
Yeah.
Around, whether it's at a few venues or is it at the one, but I'd really love for that to happen.
What did you think about the field, though, come Sunday?
Oh, well,
'Cause-
they call it Sandcorp. Like, it's just a disaster. And then with all the rain that they had, like, it always gets ripped up. And, yeah, you're right, it was not well.
Exactly. So I think that shows a thing. Awesome. From what I've heard, I had whānau go over and really loved the event. It's about how can we replicate that? Like, come on, Auckland Council. Or like, we're those, if we can get the funding, I feel like we're a great place to host those. Like, rugby league in this country is definitely on the rise.
Oh, yeah.
Warriors, thanks to that. And who knows, you never know if there is a potential. I'm sure there's a place like Christchurch is quite a hub for rugby league in this country. Surely another franchise coming our way too would be awesome.
What do you reckon? Where they're going to put that franchise? Wellington or Christchurch? What do you reckon? Where would you like to see the next rugby league team
I mean,
from Aotearoa?
I'm not a big fan of any Canterbury teams, but it kind of makes sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you get the whole of the South Island,
Yeah.
I mean, the Crusaders fans, they do it well.
Yeah.
They do it real well.
No, I agree. And they would have the facilities down there.
Yeah.
They're going to have the new stadium down there under a roof. So,
Yeah. And as Maya said, like, there's a strong rugby league community.
huge.
down there
yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be loyal as, I reckon. All right, Maya, your thoughts on the Waz this season? One of your teams, and they beat the Cowboys 30-20. How was our heart rate in that game? Because they were up, they let them come back. The coach, Andrew Webster, said he needs a heart transplant. We're like, bro, how do you think we feel? We can't do anything about it.
I talked about pathways with the rugby sevens, like how awesome is some of these young guns like coming up and absolutely getting their opportunities. And it shows when you have experienced players that are out and aren't back till round 11, like what a great system or culture, from what I've heard, is been the biggest shift in the last couple of years. So that's exciting for them. Last 20 minutes, I'm sorry, like I actually can't deal. I don't like nearly needing to like mimi my taro in like in the middle of the game. Thank you, Luke Metcalf, been playing outstanding these last 2 games. But my game of the round was actually, I was really excited for the Storm Raiders game.
Yes.
I thought that was probably one of my games of the round, just because it meant in the table, it makes it really interesting for those two.
And it lived up to expectations, right? Because it went to Golden Point. I mean, and some of their tries were freaky, even the ones that were just allowed, but it was just a good game.
Yeah. Coates, I don't know if it was this week or last week, and it's like the full backflip to try and like, mate, I can't even jump that high in netball. Like, how do you then flip over a person? Like, you can't even train this. It's the athleticism of these players is outstanding.
So out of your top teams or even the whole competition, who do you see as being the outright winner this year?
I've had this conversation multiple times with my partner. I think he thinks Bulldogs are playing well, but he doesn't know whether they have the experience to be able to win.
Yeah.
I personally believe Storm does have that experience, so no matter where they are, they play out like finals footy, they're thereabouts, and they have the ability to like absolutely pull it out of the hat. So I would say a Storm Bulldogs final for me.
And the Storm win?
Yeah. I'd love to see what Bellyache is like in his coaching box, just for the entertainment.
Honestly, he is something else. And because when I had been part of the Storm back in the day, like when they lose, right, you go under the tunnel and he is in the gym already, like as you're leaving the stadium, and he is like bashing a boxing bag. He's on the roll, just getting out all that frustration that you'd think he would have already taken out on the bottles that he's throwing inside the box, right? But he just lives it through and through. But I'd love to see that.
To be a fly on the wall.
Could you imagine? Switching to Super Rugby. First of all, Maia, who's your Super Rugby team?
I don't watch Super Rugby. I'm just NRL.
That's absolutely fine.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine with both of us, right, Jordan? I thought you might even have a team. But someone that I do want to talk about who's been playing well is Ardie Savea. Right? And just from your perspective, because I put you up there with all these leaders and but because you perform, like you guys perform on the field or on the court, but then you're also leaders for your team, for your communities. When you look at Ardie, what makes him so special in your eyes?
It's more than the game.
Yeah.
It's more than the game. It's about the people that, like I said, I don't watch it, but I've seen the clips
impact
and the
has?
impact of the Drua Moana game. Like, it's more than just about Super Rugby Pacific. It's about the whole rugby community, and the more that we can develop these smaller nations, the better the whole game is going to be. I've from my perspective, seeing the likes of the Jamaicans and the English that are going to the Suncourt Super Netball, and how that's filtering back into their own countries is next to amazing. So the ability for Moana's really in the running for Super Rugby, from what I've been told. So at the core, it's about people, and I think that's, from an observer, that's what's getting in there, is that people and culture first. Yep.
No, I agree. Jordan, how are you feeling about Super Rugby and your Blues?
The Blues are living up to their name. It was cool talking to Caleb about it, and it'd be interesting to see whether he comes back from his hematoma and hominoba. But 100 men versus Ardie Savea. I'm taking Ardie.
I'm going Ardie too.
That man, what he did last week that was disallowed, right? And then what he did this week.
Yes, with the grubber. Holy.
And he's a 7.
Yes.
And we talk about the great 7s that we've had, Sir Michael Jones, hopefully soon Sir Richie McCaw as well. But Ardie has kind of revolutionised that number again.
And he's up there in those conversations, don't you think?
I was always a bit Richie's the man, bro.
Yeah.
I know about Ardie. Now I'm like, Ardie is him.
Yeah. It's a hard position too. Like that flank at those loosies.
100%.
You can the first fives, like they get the shine.
Yeah,
it's a hard the glory. As a shooter, I know you either get the glory or you are the reason why. Like you get a Stephen Donald moment or you don't.
It's rocks or
but
diamonds.
that pivotal, the workhorse, and you can see in how he fits in his team as he really inspires, and it's about action first rather than or words.
No, I agree. Now that I've got two ballers here, I want to talk some NBA finals. And, well, first of all, Steven Adams and the Rockets, they got out, which is disappointing. But, I mean, Steven Adams, he had a great, was it Game 6?
Yeah.
I think he was outstanding there. And then he got a standing ovation when he came out into the next game. But, I mean, amazing to see him over there doing big things. But unfortunate in the finals that the Rockets are now out.
Exactly. I actually got to watch the Rockets. I went to the States in November, so it was early in their season. And he's been playing in the NBA for, like, he's a stalwart now.
Yeah.
And
2012,
as an athlete myself, I admire his ability to keep his body intact. I think when I had watched him at that point, he was just returning from an injury. He wasn't starting. He was getting really limited minutes. I don't know if that was because of his injury, but to see him now, like, it's maturity, it's experience, come into first round of playoffs and absolutely kill it. And from the interviews I've seen, it's by doing nothing flash.
Yeah.
It's been following the game plan and, like, buying into everything. So, yeah, it's a shame that we don't have any more Kiwis playing in the NBA, but to have someone like them who's, like, I would say he's a iconic, typical Kiwi, you know?
Yes.
Like, is who he is, ain't afraid to be or from the bush or from Roaders, like, and that's to celebrate.
Yeah. So just to echo a lot of what you just said, Maia, and going back to your kōrero too around it being about people, Steve is like an amazing ambassador for our country.
Yeah.
The Americans over there, right, they're like eating him up.
Yeah.
They just absolutely love the humble take on every single journo question. They're trying to like get him on that angle, you know, and he's just like, I know what you're doing, cuz. Gives them the answer, and it's the right answer, but because it's his tika and pono.
But he's not PC either.
Nah,
so
he's
like,
he's right.
so I need to learn something from his leaf, but it's actually genuinely how he feels, not trying to mask up. He is who he is, and I guess it's the nature of the landscape and the media landscape in the NBA. They could probably say anything, and it's not necessarily that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So I wish we could take that into our own backyards, to be fair.
What does the state of basketball look like in New Zealand and the pathways and the development that we have here for our players? Because obviously, Maia, you said we'd love to have more of our athletes go over to the States. What does it look like now? Because Jordan, I know you're a big fan of Sal's NBL, which is, you know, a great competition to have. But what is the state of development of basketball in our country at the moment?
It's cool having the Rapid League, and I don't know that the Rapid League gets enough shine, but a lot of our up-and-coming talent coming through, and what's actually on display on the court too is pretty amazing. But then to see them also get that time in the Sales League as well, that kind of breaking them in, kind of like how we talked about the Black Ferns, but then also the young ones coming through on the netball court as well. I'm a big advocate for grassroots. Love it. I love the Māori tournaments that are coming through, the Easter tournaments, Labour weekends. You guys know what it's like. You were athletes growing up. But there's also a huge contingent, especially of Māori athletes, actually going to play, going to college. I think I saw one young lady, she might have signed to Alabama now.
Waiata?
Yeah, Waiata, yeah. And then that for me, right, I'm thinking about Alabama. I'm like, that's a pretty prestigious school in terms of sporting. And then to see someone who looks like us, got a name like us, she is us, over there, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd love to hear your take, being kind of coming through those systems as well.
And how you get scouted.
Yeah, it's been well over 10 years since I played basketball, but I guess I was lucky the schools found me. From what I knew from other people who were looking for scholarships, they had to go out and source it, so they were sending tapes. They often had like scouting agents that had the connections. I had a few that came over to New Zealand and came to a tournament or a practice game. But I'm not sure how that landscape goes now. I'd love to see participation rates for basketball have obviously risen in the last couple of years. So it's a sport that is well and truly growing in our country. Like anything, I'd love to see more investment into our leagues. Like, you do have the Sales NBL, you have the Tauihi, but the dream of it becoming more semi-professional, or like how do we grow the game of basketball so that we're back on that Olympic stage? We haven't been back in the Olympics for early 2000s now, at least from a tall ferns perspective. So I think the pathways of sending our kids to Div 1 or like to America is the right option. But how do we keep them in the game? How do we reinvest? And while they're over in the States, how do we keep lifting our national programs? Again, I haven't been in there for a long time.
Just news this week, actually, just reminded me, Lisa Carrington has become...
Yes, Kahu.
Yeah, a co-owner, I guess, of Kahu, or part of the ownership group, which I think is huge for women's sport, but also to see an athlete, a female athlete, in the position to help out other sports. What did you feel, Maia, when you saw that she became part of the ownership group?
I think that's really empowering.
Yeah.
And Dame Lisa Carrington,
Right.
like just to meet her, like she's an absolute beast in her own right, but
goat.
she's so switched on. And I think from the limited conversations I've had with her, it's about giving back. And it's quite cool that I don't know how that arrangement worked, whether she reached out or someone reached out to her. What a great resource, not only as an owner, but like how do you tap into her knowledge of how to be a high performance athlete, like the goods, the bads, the uglies. I think out of everything, it's a massive resource that is unique to that franchise.
Yeah, and the ownership group is all wahine.
Yeah.
So it's great to see her
Mama
in.
wahine.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Let's go.
Let's go. But I mean, it was just great to see that she, is part of that now. And again, just giving, I guess, maybe more spotlight to women's sport and to basketball. As you said, the Tall Ferns haven't been in the Olympics for so long, but to see her giving back to another sport is incredible to see. We're going to move on to some local stuff. And it was the Stealth Fighters League fight night on the weekend. Maia, sometimes I see you at some of the fights, and you don't mind watching
I have
of the
been,
boxing
I have
and all
been
of that.
privy to a bit of boxing, but
Yeah.
haven't been around in a while. It's something that I never will ever see myself in a ring.
No?
It takes too much balls. Like, who wants to get punched in the head?
Oh, I agree.
I'm sorry. It takes a special type of person to want to get knocked out, not me.
No, I agree. I'm going to ask you I'll give you a chance to think about what your walkout song would be. So you have a think about that while I just say that Dakamid Armstrong from Kaikohe, he won the Heavyweight Ultimate Badass Championship belt on the weekend against Ants Nansen. And I tell you what, they just stood and they banged, and it was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. I was right there by the cage and I had to go and do interviews after. And you'd think, who'd want to get hit in the head? No one. Who'd want to have to go and interview them after? Because you have to be quite mindful that they've just done this, and like their faces have pretty much been rearranged. They're not thinking properly, and you're in there just trying to get the best, I guess, their best analysis on how things went. And they're pretty much like, we just stood and like just flogged each other. But it was incredible. So shout out to SFL2. But if you were ever going to do a walkout, Maia, what song, what writer would you choose? Like, would you go pump up the crowd, the energy?
See, I don't care about the crowd if it was me.
Yep.
It's about how do I get myself locked in. And so, can't give you a song, but I can give you like a genre. When I do warm-up shots before a game, I need something that grounds me. So it's either like anything, Waiatere or Māori, Waiata Pasifika. You can see me, like, you think I'm jamming to something, but it's normally not in English. So I just want to be grounded, and that's what keeps me grounded.
I do love when I'm there for mahi courtside and I see all the shooters come out to take their shots. What is that like for you when you are out there, before the game started and just the shooters are out on court getting your feel for your shot?
I guess for me, I'm in my zone, so like I don't look at anyone.
No, I know.
I try not to talk to anyone, because for me this is how I prep for a game. And so headphones in. The more you see me singing, the more I'm enjoying myself and feeling pretty good, because I'm outside of my head. The more I'm not singing, I'm probably overthinking or I'm missing a few. So it's about me, myself. If I'm being honest, I probably try and avoid absolutely avoid people from change room to shop, back to change room, just so that I can make sure that I'm giving the best performance. And then after the game, I'm like, all for the fans. Sorry, my whānau come last. Normally my mum's kissing everyone in the stadium before she comes to me. So yeah, that's sort of my process.
Jordan, what's your process when you're getting ready to sink some shots around the world?
I'm always on.
Hey.
You actually should verse Maia.
We should actually have a game around the world.
You should.
We should make that happen.
All right.
I'll be keen.
All right.
And then we could actually go to the netball court too and try these 2-pointers.
Yeah,
Hey.
there we go.
Yeah.
Will the defender?
It
Someone
doesn't
over
matter.
you?
It doesn't matter. Contact, stand down.
Doesn't matter who, where, or when. Just to finish us up, we either do a sharp as moment or a sharpen up moment for the week each. So if you ever think about that, Maia, my sharp as moment for this week would have to be our Blackfern Sevens winning over in LA. And I just think they've had a phenomenal season. And as we said, like, they're just the champions and they're the best team in our country. So a big shout out to all our wahine ma who are probably on their way back home right now, or hopefully going on a lovely holiday, because I tell you what, they have earned it. Jordan, your sharp as or sharpen up moment of the week?
Sharp as moment. Shout outs to my nephew Dallas. He did his first CrossFit competition over the weekend. CrossFit Kotahi.
Yes.
And managed to get himself a dub. So shout outs to my nephew, only 15, started CrossFitting maybe 2 months ago.
Was this in Hamilton?
Wow.
Yeah, next time.
And they had, like, how many people did they have? Because that's Kurt and
Yeah, so
Nicole
it's good.
Carter.
Yeah.
My whanaunga. That was their CrossFit gym down in Hamilton. But I think there was over around 200 competitors or something,
There
right?
were 200 people with abs, and then one big back there watching everyone else do all of the exercises. That's how much I know. But yeah, it was an amazing event. Just seeing so many Māori though.
Yeah.
Participating, getting into the whole water, being healthy, and then the brothers and the sisters actually so strong. My sister did a clean and jerk 115 kgs.
Holy.
Yeah. So I'm like the weakest in my family. I've only got 2 sisters. So that was my sharp as moment. Sharpen up moment goes to the also Angus Tavao.
Oh yeah, 100%. I did see that. Oh, it's the confidence afterwards too. How good.
I just love that he gave it a crack though, right? Like, the team needed it. He had the ball in the hand. Let me just kick this out. Yeah, cousin. So that's my sharpen up moment.
I guess for me, my sharp is despite the last 20 minutes, I'm Warriors fan through and through. And I just think, amazing start to the season. It takes some guts to be able to stay in it, and I can't believe how long they've been on D this year, and that D is tiring, man. Like, all these set resets, all these penalties, the engine room that they have is blowing. So I'm backing them. I've already bought my tickets for the next game against the Raiders.
Nice.
So whānau, they haven't advertised it, but I saw the $15 tickets are back. We win, you win. So if you want to be a cheapskate like me and buy $15 tickets, they're already out. Hey, Warriors, you should get me for your promo, man.
Exactly. We can clip this up. With that being said, Maia, we thank you so very, very much for joining us on Sharpen Up. We wish you all the very best for the start of the ANZ Premiership this weekend. Who have the Stars got and where are you playing?
We're first game of season this Sunday the 11th, Mother's Day. So if you haven't bought your tickets, what a way to celebrate your mum at the netball. It's a Auckland tussle against the Northern Mystics at Event Finder Stadium. 4 o'clock, I think, is the whistle. So, hey, you might get in your good books. You might want your mum to turn up and be the favourite child. There's your shot.
That's it. Make sure you head down there, watch Maia and the Stars take on the Mystics. ANZ Premiership starts this weekend. Maia, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for listening. Jordan, thanks for turning up, because Api Pity, not here, anno.
Got yous, man. I got yous. Otherwise, up the stars.
Up the stars.